Road trips, hostile crowds, overtime thrillers, and more. Not a bad way to get the college hockey season truly rolling here on North Dakota Hockey Central, your television home for all things UND hockey. I'm Alex Heinert. Thanks for joining us. Coming up, we will look back at North Dakota's intense home-and-home series against Bemidji State with head coach Brad Berry and bring you to a pickleball court near you with UND goaltender Zach Driscoll. First, though, it's time for this week's edition of UND Insider's decorated web series, Through These Doors.
Through These Doors is presented by Gate City Bank.
Fourteen newcomers arrived in Grand Forks for the 21-22 season, building a roster of returners, freshmen, and transfers that have found a way to be one team on and off the ice.
I think obviously the summer was huge for us. The workouts, we come in here in late July, early August, and I think more than the workouts, I think the importance of gelling as a group. I think that was probably the most beneficial part of the summer. Obviously, there's 14 new guys on our team, so it takes time. But I think we've done a really good job so far.
Yeah, I think a lot of the on ice stuff we did in the summer together, just like captain skates, and we played paintball and just little team builders like that was pretty unreal to kind of break the ice, kind of see the new guys' brighter side or just goofy side, and
yeah, it's definitely scary but exciting at the same time. I think we gelled pretty well as a team. There was lots of weekends that we spent together, and axe throwing and fishing trips were definitely big things for us that we gelled together well as a team. We built chemistry on and off the ice. The fish trip I thought was the biggest one for us. We spent the night there. Sat around the campfire, told some campfire stories, so I think that gelled us the most.
Yeah, like you said, obviously there's a time to be serious and there's a time to be fun. I think the times to be fun, that's obviously where you get to share, your kind of true personality, your outgoingness and that kind of stuff. So, I think those are kind of scenarios that you can just kind of let go and be yourself.
Yeah, friendly competition was the best, especially the axe throwing. We had some fun. That was during a week where that was a big week for the freshmen and coming together as a group.
That was actually probably one of the best, most memorable moments for me. Obviously there's some funny stories that go around, and that's a time where there's a lot of laughs for sure.
Learning each other's behavioral tendencies through the DISC assessment has encouraged better communication, creating better chemistry for this new group.
So the NCAA DISC assessment workshop is an opportunity for student athletes to learn more about their skills and competencies, but also start to identify with some of the skills that their teammates have as well. And the ultimate goal is to ultimately build better relationships with one another and really form a cohesive unit.
Yeah, I think it's just a way that you approach people, and I think it's a good thing to have, people skills and everything. I think it goes a long way in life.
It was good to learn everybody's kind of personality types, especially guys that we might not know as well or we might not, click as much with. It's good to understand how to maybe talk with them, and that DISC assessment kind of broke down each dominant type, and maybe just say, hey, you could either be really aggressive with them and that's how it registers, or you need to be a little bit like, hey, can we talk over here real quick? And I think it'd be really good to work on this, or But I think most guys in general, and you learn this throughout the levels of hockey, is you got to be open to some critical feedback, and especially being able to talk on the bench right after a shift. You got to be open to that, and I think everybody here is.
I think the thing that we always see from student athletes that take the disc assessment is their connection to the accuracy of the report itself. We had a lot of guys in the room that were highly identifying with their assessments and identifying with the skills and competencies that came from that report. And just seeing the overall connection between the guys of resonating and guys identifying and saying that, oh, you're totally that personality style, or you do these within your behaviors. So it's rewarding to see that the guys make those connections, and obviously now it's taking it a step further and continuing to put it into practice and continuing to get to know each other to build a really cohesive team.
I think I was more of a friendly type person and a people's person, so that's kind of how I thought I was. I thought that was pretty accurate as well, so I enjoyed it.
I think just naturally, kind of looking around the room, everybody's kind of implemented it. There hasn't been a time where I just think, okay, well, with him I got to be like this. I think it just naturally, you kind of, and it's something we've developed throughout the summer, and that's why summer is such a big part of it as well. Is you got to feel people out and kind of understand how they like things and how they like to be spoken to, and so it's more of it is more natural, but we were more cognizant of it now from the assessment, I'd say.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with Jammer in that sense. I mean, obviously, with any relationship or new relationship, it takes time. And just like anything on the ice as well, everything takes time. Rome wasn't built in one day, they say. So, I mean, just like a relationship.
Love that.
Gotta love it. Well done by Cassie Niles and the entire Through These Doors crew. We are just getting started here on North Dakota Hockey Central this week, as after the break, Brad Berry stops by to give us his take on a pair of classic games against a local rival. That's next. Welcome back to North Dakota Hockey Central. It's now time to catch up with UND head coach Brad Berry, who joins us from inside the friendly confines of Ralph Engelstad Arena. Brad, thanks for the time this week.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Doing great, Coach. After sweeping Niagara on opening weekend, you took on a ranked Bemidji State team in a home-and-home series this past Friday and Saturday. You got to look at the Beavers in an exhibition setting before the season began. How similar were these two games to the one you played against BSU at the start of October?
Yeah, probably very similar in intensity and compete level. Playing the same opponent 3 out of the last 5 games is always tough. Having success, winning the first 2 and then trying to get into the third game. But yeah, it was you know what you're getting with Bemidji. They're a hard, heavy team. They play with a lot of intensity, and I thought for the most part we did a pretty good job here trying to match or exceed that.
Both games this weekend were intense, both were tight throughout, and both saw your team trail early. What did you make of your opening periods on Friday and Saturday this weekend?
Yeah, you know what, it wasn't the start that we wanted, or usually you want to score the first goal or 2 to start a game and not chase the game, but I thought our guys did a really good job, especially in the Saturday night game here of getting down by a couple. We misexecuted a couple of plays that resulted in plays in the back of our net, but thought our guys had a strong response and pushback to get to where we wanted to go. Ended up getting a so-called tie. We lost in overtime, but at least got the pairwise tie out of it, and now we move on. But like I said, for the most part, that's an area we got to clean up on is the start of games and trying to lead games, not chase games.
You would score 3 times in quick succession Friday at the Sanford Center to turn a 1-0 deficit to a 3-1 advantage. What did you see that sparked the comeback in game number 1?
Yeah, just realizing coming in after the first period, knowing that wasn't our best, and knowing that they'd have a push, especially in their rink, and they had a push against Duluth, and when Duluth played in there, so we knew that was coming. But until you really experience it and feel it, and we did, then how do we react from it? And I thought our guys did a really good job of coming out, especially the first couple shifts in the second period, and getting the next goal and the next one and the next one, and it really helped us to get our momentum going right away for the last 40 minutes.
One of those goal scorers in that period was Gavin Hain, who was making his first appearance of the season after being held out against Niagara. What did you see from him this weekend in his return from injury? How important is he to your team's success this year?
Yeah, well, Gavin brings a lot of energy to our group. He's got a high energy, high compete level, and he really, in the years past when he was playing with Sendon and Smith, that line was really dominant. That really kind of pushed our group, and having him out of our lineup, we surely miss him, but having him back in, you can kind of tell where he's a very vital, important part of our group here. And like I said, leadership is the other side too. He's a leader on a team. He wears a letter, and he's a guy that says the right things and does the right things.
BSU would push back in the third, but you get the 4-3 win in the end. It was a big road result for your team, and especially for your goaltender. What can you say about Zach Driscoll's performance and composure in his return to the home rink that he starred in for the last 3 years?
Well, a couple things on that one too. First of all, it's not easy, playing against your former teammates in the exhibition, and now coming back and then also playing in Bemidji, where he had a great successful career there. Fans weren't easy on him. Fans gave it to him a little bit, and they were hard on him. But it goes to his maturity and how he has such an even keel approach. Doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. Just concentrated on focus on making saves, and that's what he did. He was a big reason why we got the win in Bemidji, is because he played a solid game with a lot of focus.
Game 2 was in many ways the reverse of Game 1, as you were the team chasing a 3-1 disadvantage. What did you see from your group in their comeback over the final 2 periods in Game 2 in Grand Forks?
Yeah, there was a relentlessness in our group. Our guys felt, obviously, you never can try to spot a team a couple goal lead early in a game, and there was an urgency in our group. Really liked the way we pushed back there. We had a number of scoring opportunities that we just didn't cash in on during the game, but you know what? We played right till the final buzzer in regulation time, and ended up getting a 6-on-5 goal to pursue the so-called tie. And again, I'm really proud of our group on the way how we had resiliency in our game. But again, knowing that we have to get better and play a 60-minute game, starting with the drop of the puck in the first period.
You just mentioned this, but down 3-2, you pulled Zach Driscoll with 2 minutes left in search of an equalizer, and Ashton Calder would oblige with his second goal of the night. Your team just seems to find a way in these 6-on-5 situations.
Yeah, guys knowing their roles, guys knowing what to do on those specific specialty team situations, and it's a situation where you never want to lose a game. You want to try to get at least a win or a tie, and trying to find a way to do that. So our guys found a way to do that, and now we have to move on.
Calder's goal forced overtime, but the Beavers would get the win in 3-on-3. What happened on the play that led to the game-winning goal on Saturday night?
Well, 3-on-3 is mostly possession, right? You want to possess the puck, and even if you don't have a scoring opportunity, you want to keep possession and try to get fresh legs out there. And I thought we made a play to the net, and you always want to try to score, but it gave them possession. And then on the ensuing play, we lost a guy in coverage, and they just got a step on us. It wasn't bad positioning. It was just we weren't right over top of him, and the guy went to the net and made a great shot and great play on the net. So. I wish we would have had a situation where we got some more players on the ice for a couple more shifts, because we worked on it a lot, and it gets a situation where we know our roles and what to do, and they made a good play, and we didn't have an opportunity to make a play on that.
3-1 now on the season. You move on to back-to-back road trips, starting with a big one in Connecticut against a good Quinnipiac team from the ECAC. What's the scout on the Bobcats this year?
Yeah, they're a good team that play with a lot of structure. They don't give up a lot of goals. They play very good defensively, and they do have some very good offensive players. And we've never been out to Quinnipiac playing in their rink, and it's one of those things that we every couple of years we want to try to get out east to have the student athlete experience of playing in an eastern rink and kind of in what their league looks like. So it'll be a great opportunity for us. We're coming off of a weekend here where we got a win and a tie, and now we want to try to get back on the horse with trying to put a couple of pair of games together of having solid efforts to try to get wins here. So it's not going to be easy, but it's a situation where we're going on the road now, and we're looking forward to it.
The last time you faced off with the Bobcats, you lifted a national title trophy at the end of the night. The stakes aren't as high this weekend, of course, but this is still a big series on a number of levels for your team.
Yeah, for sure it is. Yeah, I think the things that we keep preaching to our team is about the pairwise, knowing that, it's not the NCHC, but it's just as important of trying to culminate wins in the non-conference play to elevate yourself in the pairwise at the end of the year. And these are opportunities that you can't have back. Like, you have to make sure you make the most of it early on here, because like I said, at the end of the year, all these non-conference games add up to making the national tournament.
Yeah, certainly a great opportunity now to test yourselves against the top 10 team on the road. Safe travels east, Brad, and then best of luck to you and your group this weekend.
Thanks, Alex. Looking forward to it.
One key to North Dakota's chances this weekend is the Fighting Hawks' new man between the pipes. But trust me, Zach Driscoll's not just a one-sport athlete. He will show off his skills on the pickleball court when North Dakota Hockey Central returns. Welcome back. New North Dakota goaltender Zach Driscoll is gifted in a variety of areas, from hockey, where he was a two-time all-conference selection while at Bemidji State, to the classroom, where he's the reigning WCHA Scholar Athlete of the Year. He is also pretty good at pickleball, a sport that's growing in popularity around the country, and thanks to Zach, amongst the UND hockey team as well.
What about me? I'm kind of a funny guy. I don't take things too serious. I know a lot of goalies get the stereotype for being, a little bit odd or whatever, but don't quote me on this, but I've had a lot of people I've played with over the years tell me I'm the most normal goalie that they've played with. So I like to keep things light. I'm not too serious on game days. I feel like that's the best player I am, is when I'm light. So I first got introduced last summer. The buddy that I was working out with during COVID, I was in his garage, and after workouts he kept saying, like, come on, let's go play pickleball, let's go play. I was like, dude, no, that's not a sport for us, that's for old people. And he finally dragged me to the courts, and I was like, all right, I could probably see myself playing this. And then this summer when I got back from Bemidji, I had bought a paddle and ended up going and just played a lot this summer. So I just kind of got into it this summer and kept going. Oh, cut that one out, cut that one out. I've been kind of big into ping pong my whole life, so I kind of see a resemblance in ping pong, and also like a lot of hand-eye stuff. I kind of feel like with playing goalie, a lot of hand-eye coordination and being active with my hands, that plays a big role in this game too. And when people find out that I'm playing against that I'm a goalie, they can definitely tell. I would rather hit or catch a pickleball that I'm not supposed to than dodge a hockey puck. That's my philosophy. When you have 13 new players on a team, you got to find any extra way you can to come together. And again, that's a good part about so many guys choosing to come early in the summer is being able to build that team chemistry early and getting to know each other and finding ways to be competitive with each other, because once the season comes, you're going to be battling day in, day out with each other on the same team. So it's good to get that going early. Actually, last week we had about 6, 7, 8 guys out here playing. There's a couple guys who have extra paddles, so we're passing them around, growing the game. It's just kind of a fun activity to get your mind off of hockey in the off season here, where you can grab 4 guys, go play, and have that competitiveness outside of hockey. It's been good for us, I think. This part right here is just the part of the game that's absolutely addicting to me. The hand-eye coordination is actually the biggest thing, because that wiffle ball comes at you pretty fast when you get up to a higher level. So to be able to have that hand-eye coordination to get the ball back over to the other side, that's the most enjoyable part for me, is getting in those kind of firefights, we call them, back and forth, and letting my hand-eye and my hands do the work. I took my first unofficial here 8 years ago. So from 2013 to 2021 is how long it took me to commit. It was either 2013 or 2014 before a game. I think they were playing Duluth, and I have a picture of Carl and I standing on the bench. So it's probably the longest college recruiting that's ever taken place. I've hit about every stop in the road that you can, from 3 junior leagues to 3 colleges. I don't know how many players at the collegiate level can say that, I guess, but I'm a really big believer in that everything kind of happens for a reason, and each stop that I've made has made me a better person and a better player. So I've learned something at each spot, and I wouldn't trade the path that I've been on for anything, because I think this is where I'm supposed to be this year, and keep continuing to develop as a person, as a player, and do the best I can on the ice to win hockey games here.
So just how good is UND's new goalie at pickleball? Well, Driscoll and Jasper Weatherby, remember him? Took second place in the Grand Forks area pickleball doubles tournament this summer, and he's now sponsored by one of the nation's top pickleball outfitters. So yes, he's pretty good. As is the opponent he and his teammates are facing on the ice this weekend. We will set the scene for North Dakota's top 10 showdown with Quinnipiac right after this. Time to check in on what's going down around college hockey, starting with this week's USCHO.com poll, where there is a new, almost unanimous number one, Michigan. The Wolverines captured the icebreaker title this past weekend in Duluth with wins over the host Bulldogs and previous number one Minnesota State to move up 2 spots to the top. Meanwhile, UND, Denver, Omaha, and Western Michigan all move up, giving the NCHC 6 teams in the top 17, including 4 in the top 8. The Pios are one of 5 NCHC teams taking on ranked opposition this weekend, a slate that includes a top 5 home-and-home showdown between Minnesota Duluth and Minnesota. Interestingly, half of the league's games are taking place in New England, as DU and CC will be touring Rhode Island and Massachusetts, while North Dakota will be heading to Connecticut for a battle with number 7 Quinnipiac.
They're definitely going to be a good team, and they're going to be coming out hard, and we just got to do the same thing. We got to learn from today and this weekend. We got to come out fast next weekend against them and get on them early, and make sure we play with our speed and confidence and just play hard, heavy hockey.
Number 6 North Dakota, number 7 Quinnipiac. You can watch this rematch of the 2016 national title game with a subscription to ESPN+. Both Friday and Saturday's games will air at 6 p.m. Central Time. We hope you can tune in this weekend, just as we hope you join us on the next North Dakota Hockey Central. On behalf of our Midco Sports crew, I'm Alex Heinert. Thanks for watching this week. Enjoy that hockey.